Nah, this episode, nah. Anyway, let's get into this. Yes, people, this is your girl Aleisha Lee, and welcome back to another episode of Aleisha Lee Reviews. We are reviewing Black Mirror Season 6, and we are on to Episode 2, Loch Henry. What an episode. Let's get into this. So we start the episode with some beautiful scenes of Scotland, and we get to meet our couple for the first time, Davis and Pia. They are on their way to visit his mum. Now, this interaction was a bit strange. They're having a chat and everything, and you know, he's introducing his mum to his girlfriend. The mum said something like, "Oh, where did you capture this one?" I was like, who says capture? Anyway, they go inside, and that's when Pia's looking around, and we notice a mask on the wall. We'll get to that mask later. And also she sees some pictures on the wall as well of Davis's mum and dad. At dinner, we see Davis talking to his mum about his plans to shoot a film, and they talk about the film, which is some Eggman film. As Davis was explaining his film to his mum, she was looking just as confused as I was. Later on, we see Pia. She feels a bit guilty because she was kind of putting down the cops while they were having the conversation with Davis's mum, but she just saw the picture of his dad that is a police officer, and she's feeling a bit guilty, thinking that her chances with Davis's mum are really dwindling and that she doesn't really like her. As Pia and Davis are having some chill time, she spots an old VHS video recorder and she picks it up. She looks in there, sees that there's no tape, and Davis is like, "Oh, what would you want to film on there?" And she's like, "Look, naughty, you know what they're gonna do, so let's leave them to have their time." Let's leave them to have their time. The next day, we see Davis and Pia getting ready to leave. Now, if you notice that Pia's phone, it doesn't have any reception. She tries to go online, but it seems that there's no reception where they are. That will play a part later on as well. She notices the Bergerac collection, and Davis explains to her that it's an old TV cop show that his mum loved, and his mum thought he's got a nice bum, and Pia's like, "Ew, I don't want to think about your mum and, thinking that people's got a nice bum." And then that's when the mum comes in and is like, "Oh, but he does have a nice bum." I was like, oh gosh, Pia, you're just every minute just landing yourself in it, isn't it? Davis shows Pia around the town, and she notices that it's really empty, like they're the only ones there. How come there's no one else here? Because it's so beautiful. Why is it that no one else bothers to come? There should be lots of tourists here. They go to the pub. They're greeted by Stuart, Davis's old school friend. When you're watching it, you're thinking, what happened between Davis and Stuart? Why is Stuart so mad? Like, he's telling him, get out of the pub. But then I started to realise that, nah, they must be friends. And of course they are. That's when they go to sit down and have a talk about what's happened in the town. And that's when we start to find out the story of Ian Adair and the story of a couple who were tourists in town that went missing. We also see Stuart's dad, who only comes down to refill his cup with alcohol and then goes back up. And Davis questions it, maybe is he depressed? Or Stuart's like, of course he is, like, look at him. But we're going to find out a bit later why that might be. Stuart mentions that there were 3 pubs and now they're the last man standing. That just goes to show how much people do not visit that town any longer. There used to be a lot of tourism, but because of what happened, people don't come around anymore. And that's when Pia questions, like, why? I don't understand what's going on. And that's when they begin to tell her the story of Ian Adair. Stuart was giving me jokes. He ain't got time for these long drawn out stories. He just went straight to the cut. Yeah, Ian Adair, he done this to people, blah blah blah. And Pia was like, what? Davis was like, I was building up to that. Anyway, he continues to tell the story, and he mentions that Ian Adair was living with his parents at the time, and he was kind of just a quiet, kind of loner, and just done as he's told kind of thing. And Stuart drops in that Ian Adair was responsible for the death of 2 tourists being killed. Now, Stuart mentions Davis's dad as well, and Pia's just like, what? Like, intrigued now. She wants to know the story. I like how they've done this because they showed us some footage from back in the day, and they showed us the couple as well. It just looked like, really, it was giving documentary. The documentary gives details about the missing couple. There was a swarm of journalists that came by when this story started to get popular, as they were not able to find them. Police were searching, doing investigations, door knocks. Journalists started traveling down to find out what was going on, and then eventually people kind of forgot about the story because at that time Princess Diana had passed, so that just became the main focus of the news, and the couple got forgotten. After Pia hears this story, "Hey, my girl, can we go there?" I'm like, she's crazy. You know where this is going. You know where this is going. One night, Ian Adair is in the pub and he's just had a bit too much. He starts talking about that missing couple and starts threatening Stuart's dad, saying he's gonna come back and do something to the place and do something to him, and that's when he was barred from the pub. Stuart's dad asked Davis's dad, Kenny, the police officer, to go around there and just kind of check on the situation just to make sure that nothing else happens. Now, when he goes round there, Davis's dad ends up getting shot after seeing Ian Adair has shot both of his parents. It is crazy, but he managed to get away. He did get shot in the arm. Kenny, he calls for backup. Now, when the police come, they go and check the cellar and they see everything. They see everything, so they now know that Ian Adair was responsible for the killings of that couple. Nearby to the home, they did recover the couple and they recovered other bodies as well, which lets you know that he was doing this regularly and getting away with it. Now, back to Davis's dad, he did get shot by Ian Adair, and that led him into the hospital where he contracted MRSA, and that eventually led to his death. So that's why his mum blames Ian Adair for the passing of his dad, because if he wasn't shot, he wouldn't have caught MRSA and passed away. Now, Davis takes Pia to go to the home of Ian Adair, and this is where Pia has this idea where instead of doing the Eggman doc, it should be about this story. It should be about what happened. Davis ain't feeling it. In a way, he's kind of profiting off of the pain, and it's something that is still so close to him. He's not too sure about it. Pia and Davis go to Stuart to discuss the idea, and Stuart absolutely loves it. He says, listen, this will bring all of the tourists back. It will showcase the town. Why not? Why not go for it? And I think this, coupled with Pia, it finally eventually leads Davis to just go for it. They watch a video of an old news report talking about the missing couple, and that's where Davis spots his dad actually putting up one of the signs there. We also see Stuart's dad talking to the journalists about what was happening at the time. Then we get to see a montage of Davis and Pia working on the documentary. I'm not gonna lie, I did appreciate the video editing part there. I was loving it. They really looked like they were enjoying creating it, and I like the music as well. Ha 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 ha. I was like, yeah, this is a vibe. This is the vibe. They're getting their creative groove on, getting that footage, getting that documentary done. They begin to interview Stuart, and he's detailing his thoughts on the situation. And later on, we see that the mum does spot Stuart on the computer and starts to ask questions about the documentary. So, are you not doing it about the Eggman anymore? And that's when Davis lets her know their plans to do a documentary about the whole situation with Ian Adair. And to their surprise, his mum is all for it. She's like, if you need any help with it, let me know. That guy spoiled everything. He's the one that got your dad killed. Like, if you want me to, anything you need me to help with on this documentary, let me know, because people need to know that he was a rubbish man. So to their surprise, mum is down. They're all happy for it. And they actually end up interviewing Davis's mum as well to get her thoughts on it. Next, we see Pia and Davis trying to pitch their documentary. We've got an Easter egg here, as we can see the poster that says the Callow years, and that is based upon our season 1 Prime Minister Callow and his escapades. You know, that's probably what that documentary is about, with the pig. Oh god. Anyway, they are trying to pitch their idea, and you know, the producer, she wants a bit more. She needs a bit more. Like, what else can you give me? Can you get in the house? They're like, yep, we can get in the house. Oh my gosh. This is why I'm just like, yeah, it's just not going to look good. It's not looking good, especially for PR. PR, you see, when we're too fast, sometimes. Anyway, now we have the dream team. After that meeting, we have the dream team going to the house and basically break in. Davis is like to Stuart, oh, can you be a bit more quieter as we're, you know, trying to break in? Stuart gave me a joke. He's like, yep, I'm just going to put the crowbar on whisper mode. No, I was busting up. Because it's true though, like, how do you expect me to be quiet? We're blatantly doing wicked fit. How do you expect me to... Come on, sir. Davis, chill out. They get in the house and they get to the basement. And Stuart uses his lemon juice. It's basically, he's been watching CSI. He's been using it as luminol. Luminol is the liquid that you can use to detect blood. Even after it has been cleaned, you can use luminol and it will show you where the blood has been. So instead of luminol, he's using lemon juice, and they don't even need to do that because the devastation, once those lights go out and they put that UV light down, they can see that a lot of horrible things happened in that basement. On their way back, they are having a good time. They're singing a tune called In the Dungeon. To see the thing with us humans, yeah, this is just so dark. Like, I'm thinking about the victim, but at the same time, the song was funny. Like, no, I don't know. It's very conflicting. I don't like it, but I don't like it, but I don't like it. They was enjoying it. They're having a nice little ride, but you know, when you actually get deep, like, people actually suffered. Like, anyway, they end up crashing. That's probably their karma for singing them tune there. They end up crashing and Davis ends up in hospital. Everyone else is okay. And I forgot to mention that Stuart's dad is actually in hospital as well after his fall earlier where Stuart was doing the interview. His dad was very upset. He just didn't want him to do the interview at all. He doesn't even want them to do the documentary, just bringing up old things in the past. And I'm telling you, this dad knows more than we know about this situation. But that's where we find out in the hospital. When PR, Stuart and Davis's mum go, Stuart's dad speaks to Davis and lets him know that he's been holding on to something for a very long time. He always had suspicions, but he didn't have any proof. He lets Davis know what he thinks. Now we go back to Janet and PR. Janet is making some dinner and it was a bit awkward because I think PR can sense something is a bit off, but obviously that's her boyfriend's mum. She wants to make sure that, you know, they have a good relationship somewhat, but she can sense that there's something that isn't right. She reluctantly comes in. The mum's like, come on, I'm making us dinner, I'm making us shepherd's pie. I'm not gonna lie, I do love shepherd's pie. As Janet is making the shepherd's pie, Pia is upstairs going over the footage, doing some stretching bits and bobs, and it comes to a bit where it goes from their footage into something else. Pia starts watching it and creepy. It's very, very creepy. Pia continues to watch. She sees Ian Adair. And that's when she's like, huh? Then we see Kenny, Davis's dad, in this footage as well. And then we see the couple. So imagine that. Imagine your mother-in-law is downstairs. You're watching a video of her husband and the murderer in the same room together alongside the missing couple. Then we hear Kenny say, and now the mistress. Next minute, all we see is Davis' mum, Janet, coming out. My girl's there dancing and with some drill. I said, what's going on? No. So the mum is involved. The dad is basically Davis. Imagine that your parents are responsible. Oh no. Pia slammed down the laptop because the mum come upstairs. I was like, hey, dinner. I said, Pia. Imagine that. Imagine you've just watched a video. Anyway, Pia, poor baby girl. She played this all wrong. As they're having dinner, Pia notices the mask on the wall and my girl can't hold it. She couldn't hold it. Even Janet notices. She turns around to see what Pia's looking at and she sees that she was looking at the mask, and Janet says, oh, Kenneth gave me that. We used to have so much fun together. She's saying that not knowing that Pia knows what type of fun you was having, Janet. Janet, disgusting. That ain't no fun. That ain't no fun. And Janet's there probably like giggling. Nah. Pia's losing it now. Pia ends up leaving the table. It's like, I'm just going to the bathroom. It's so obvious that something is wrong with Pia. Pia's in the bathroom. She knows full well there is no reception in that house. She's trying to call Davis, but there's no reception in the house. That's when she comes out, and as she comes out, we're met by Janet. Darling, are you okay? Pia's like, yeah, I'm fine. I just need to get some fresh air. She couldn't get out that house quick enough. Janet looks upstairs and is putting 2 and 2 together that Pia has seen something that she shouldn't have seen. That's when we see Pia outside on the road trying to get that reception. And then we just see some tail lights coming. Oh gosh, it's Janet. Janet is telling her, get in the car. The next minute we hear is Janet, get in the car! Pia starts running away, running for her life. Janet is losing it because it's dawned on her now that the game is up. Pia has seen this footage. She's probably going to tell everyone about it. Now, at the same time, we see Pia is walking, trying to escape, trying to go through the river. And unfortunately, Pia falls and hits her head on a rock and she is gone. So Janet makes her way home and she then leaves a note and all these videos for Davis. We then see her put on her mask and I'm thinking, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna do another film? But no, she decides to take herself out. And I forgot to mention, this mum, just before she took herself away, she has a memorabilia box. I'm talking it had the butterfly badge that was on one of the victims. It had pictures of their victims as well. And she was looking at it smiling like, the good days. Oh, the good times. I'm like, no, this is crazy. This is absolute crazy. She has absolutely no remorse. I think the only thing she's upset about is Ian Adair spoiling their good times because of his outbursts and making it a situation where they would have been caught if he was still about. Next, we see Davis getting prepared for an interview. And we see that the documentary has happened. And Streamberry, of course, all over it, them Streamberry lot. And it's become, they even done, I'm not gonna lie, I like the way they done this. They even made it, this is proper what them documentaries look like. They gave it that feel. And the documentary was just wild. Even Stuart's dad is in the documentary as well. He's now free because the people that did commit those crimes, they're no longer here, but the truth has come out now. And I think that's why he's now involved in the documentary. I could be wrong, but he was really against Stuart doing it. But we see now that there's a change and he's now included in this one. I feel so sorry for Davis. I mean, we see that he wins a BAFTA award for the documentary. The producers are happy. Everyone's happy. But it's just crazy because literally Davis has had to profit off of his pain and trauma. After Davis gets back to his hotel room, we see Stuart gives him a call. The pub is packed out. He congratulates him on winning and he says to him, listen to it. Listen to everybody here. It's absolutely packed. So the documentary has also brought back the tourism. The people in the pub is probably wearing up the red mask. I said, no, this is absolutely diabolical. But here we are. This is where we are. Davis, he locks off the phone. He's just completely in another zone. And that's when we see him take out the note which says, for your film. Are you for real? Is this Janet mum for real? How can you just say for your film? Like, she was proper proud of herself, you know. She proper enjoyed it. Like, how dare you? How dare you, Janet? You can see the tears in Davis's eye when he reads that note. Yes, guys, that is where the episode ends. What a dark ending. I could not believe it. And poor Davis, I don't even know what to say to him. I hope he's doing well in the Black Mirror universe now. I hope he's able to move forward. And I hope he does the Eggman documentary. I wish he had stuck with that now because look. But yes, that was Black Mirror episode 2, Loch Henry. Guys, I'm gonna have to give this episode a good 9 boys out of 10. I was not expecting the ending. Now, I knew the mum was dodgy. I knew it. I knew from the beginning she was dodgy, but I could not have connected her to being involved. Well, towards the ending, you were starting to get a bit of clues, but I still wasn't ready for it. And the dad, oh no. And on top of that, the dad actually shot and killed Ian Adair and his parents and shot himself. These are the lengths he was going to make sure this secret didn't get out. Wow, what an episode. 9 boys out of 10. Yeah, Loch Henry, absolutely crazy. In the next episode, we will be reviewing episode 3, Beyond the Sea, and I am looking forward to it because so far I'm enjoying the season of Black Mirror ever so much. Make sure you hit the like button, people. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this episode. I thought it was absolutely wild. But yes, people, keep it cool, and I'll catch you in the next review. Done now, boy.